Why? I'll be able to hear it. Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Madison?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. We'll get started in just a few minutes.
Okay, let me grab my coffee.
Okay, if at any time you stop being able to hear me or something like that, there is a chat function, so it will alert me that you're having trouble hearing me or understanding me, and I'll stop what I'm doing. Since there's just a few of us, you are welcome to interrupt me. And if you have any trouble, just let me know. I'm just really excited to kind of introduce you to our program. My name is Dr. Diane Mitchke, and I am the MSW Program Director here at UTA. And I'm just really happy that y'all have decided to join our Fort Worth Cohort program, which I think is a really unique and special kind of program that we're able to offer here at the university. So we are just going to go ahead and get started because I have a few things I want to make sure you're aware of, and I know that your time is valuable. So let's see. I wanted to introduce you to the Fort Worth campus. Have either of you been to the Fort Worth campus yet?
No, ma'am.
You haven't? Okay. So Wednesday will be your first time. One of the great things about the Fort Worth campus is that it's really nice and brand new. The inside of it is really fancy, as opposed to our UTA facility, which we continue to beg for a new building. So you really kind of have the best in terms of technology and furniture and accommodations at that facility. They have their own computer lab also, which is really nice, and free parking. So because you'll be on the Fort Worth campus, you won't actually have to pay for parking, which is one of the huge perks of being on that campus. They also have, it's right at the train station. So if you'd rather ride the train, we have a number of students that decide to ride the train as an alternative. They also have a snack shop and a little gym that is almost never used. So you pretty much have your own private gym, which is pretty fantastic. And an art gallery where they bring in local artists and do monthly kind of meet and greets and have appetizers and things like that, and bring in people from the local Fort Worth community, as well as a speaker series. So the Fort Worth campus houses a number of different degree programs, including the MSW. There's a huge presence of business students there. And so they have some really interesting speakers that are helpful in terms of navigating your different career options as you start thinking about resume building and stuff like that. So I know they have lots of workshops that they put on for free. So that's always an opportunity at the Fort Worth Center. On the Arlington campus, because you're UTA students, you have access to all of the resources here on our campus as well. This is a picture of the Maverick Activity Center, which is our huge gym on campus with all different kinds of awesome cardio and weight equipment and an indoor track, and a rock climbing wall. So lots of great stuff there. We also have our main library here on campus, which most of what you need in terms of library resources, you'll be able to access online, and I'll talk a little bit about that later. But if you want to come to the main campus library, you're welcome to do that. And it's huge, and lots of different study areas and stuff like that here too. The College Park Center is where you'll eventually walk across the stage as you graduate. That is also our facility where we house our basketball team and basketball games, and also different community events and concerts and things like that. We have a Maverick Speaker Series, which again, as students, you have free access to some incredible, world-renowned speakers that come to campus, and you can see them for free. We had Jane Goodall come a couple of years ago and, basically packed the house, but lots of really great opportunities to participate in that regard. We have a Graduate Student Senate, which as graduate students, you are eligible to be a member of the Senate. And as a member, it simply means that you attend meetings. You don't actually need to be an officer or be elected to participate. But if you do attend meetings and participate on the Senate, you're eligible for funding to attend things like social work conferences. They can pay for travel and hotel costs and things like that. So that's a really neat opportunity that's only for graduate students here at UTA. We also have a really nice career center on campus, and they will do mock interviews with you and also review your resume and provide, any kind of guidance in terms of once you're ready to start interviewing and looking at different career options. Does anybody have any questions so far? No? Okay. All right. Well, we have our Office of Advising and Student Success. And so Patrice Green, who you may have already met, is here on our call with us. And she is your advisor as Fort Worth Center students. And she's also the interim coordinator for the Office of Advising and Student Success, which is really kind of your one-stop shop for all things, course related, as well as if you're having, trouble with another student, if you're having trouble with an instructor, if you need help with writing, there's just tons of support through Patrice and her office. So Patrice, do you want to say anything?
I will be on your campus the second Thursday of each month from 3 to 6. So if you want to stop in to see me, shoot me an email to let me know that you're going to come in. That's pretty much it. Oh, and I know for those who have been advised, I've already told you that I will send you an email each semester saying, hey, you can go ahead and register for your classes, and these are the sections that you can register for, because we have to go into the system and actually grant you permission to do that. So those emails typically go out, like for the fall, you'll get those mid-June. Otherwise, you can email me or schedule an appointment with me. And if I haven't said it before, when you're creating your UTA's email signature, because all of our correspondence will go through your UTA email, please include your 100 number, because anytime you email me, call me, or come see me, I'm going to need that number to look up your information. And Madison, it looks like you were raising your hand because you maybe have a question.
Yes. So I have a phone advising with you next Wednesday at 9:45.
Mm-hmm.
But are we starting classes that Wednesday?
Yes.
Okay. So do I need to be worried about not making that Wednesday class since I'm getting advised that day?
No, you still need to go to class.
Okay. So what is it at night?
Yes, your classes are at 6 o'clock.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So as I was saying, the Office of Advising and Student Success has lots of other resources. They house our student organizations. We have a writing resource coordinator that I'll talk about, and Patrice is actually the guru in charge of student scholarships. So she's a great person to know. And is our scholarship window open now?
Yes, it opened on Monday.
Okay, and so how would they get information about applying for scholarships?
Go onto the School of Social Work's website, and on the website, there's a link for the scholarships.
Great, perfect. So apply for scholarships.
Yes. And lots of scholarships available.
Yeah. We also have, Patrice, I don't know if you don't have to stay on the call if you don't want to. You've heard this spiel before.
Okay.
I know you have
Bye,
other things
guys.
to do. Thank you so much. So we have a ton of university-wide resources for students, and I'm just going to briefly go over some of these. Again, you'll have access to this presentation, forever, so you can go in and kind of explore some of this. But, our main UTA homepage really is your portal for all of the information that you really need to access in terms of registering for class, getting access to your email. There's an academic calendar, kind of everything you need is there. And it's pretty user-friendly, I find. MyMav is the way that you will, view your tuition that's due. That's where you'll see your schedule of classes and everything like that. So that's basically kind of your go-to resource. The School of Social Work homepage also has additional information. As Patrice was just saying, that's where you can get the link to the scholarship portal, which the scholarship window is open now. So if you go to our website, which is just uta.edu/SSW, you can access that there, as well as the MSW program manual, which lists all of our policies and procedures, which is really exciting. I'm sure you'll be thrilled to spend some time with that. But know that it's there if you ever have a question and can't seem to find the answer. There's lots of information on our website about our field requirements. So as you know probably already, you'll do an internship. And all of the requirements for that internship are available on our website, and kind of a step-by-step guide to what you need to know about field and preparing for field. There's also information kind of about how to find different faculty members and staff. If you have questions, you can always look at the website to get that kind of information. As UTA students, you have access to free counseling. We know that as you're, in graduate school, sometimes stress can exacerbate, mental health issues. And so I want you to be aware that you have access to our counseling department. You get free sessions, free therapy sessions. I think it's 6 sessions an academic year. And actually, you also can get referrals to low-cost counseling if you need more than that. So please don't hesitate to reach out if you are struggling at any point during the program and need some additional assistance. We also have a big career development center. I mentioned it earlier on our physical campus, but there are also a number of online resources that you can access in terms of resume building, finding jobs, tips for interviewing, information about getting licensed as a social worker after you graduate. The Student Services Health Center is available to you as a student. They have low-cost medical services. You can also purchase student insurance if you don't have medical insurance. As a graduate student, it's relatively cheap and available to you while you're a student here. The Student Affairs Office is an important resource for you if you feel like you have any, if in the past, for example, in your undergrad, if you accessed the students for offices with the Office of Students. Oh my gosh, what am I trying to say? The Office for Students with Disabilities, for example, if you needed an accommodation, longer time to take a test, other kinds of accommodations, it's really important that you reach out to the office now before, as you begin your graduate career, because you never know if you may need an accommodation. And once you have it on file, it's really easy to just give it to your instructor if you find that you need something. So if that's a concern, or if it's been a concern in the past, I would encourage you just to reach out and go ahead and get registered so that you have it in your back pocket if you happen to need it. All right, let's see. Other resources, we have a physical bookstore here on campus. At our Arlington campus. There's also kind of a mini store at the Fort Worth campus, but they don't really have textbooks there. They mostly just have like Maverick gear and stuff like that, which you totally need to buy a t-shirt so that you can show off your Maverick pride if you don't have one already. But in terms of the bookstore, you can actually go onto the bookstore's website and search for your class and section number, and it will tell you which book you need for that class. So it's really an easy, kind of user-friendly tool. You don't have to buy it from the bookstore. You can then go online, and buy it from Amazon or some other textbook seller if you want to. But that will give you the most accurate information about which edition of the text you need if you go through the online site for the UTA bookstore to look up that information. The Office of Information Technology is also very helpful whenever you're experiencing, technological challenges with Blackboard, which is our course management system that we use here, or, accessing your grades, whatever kind of problem. If you just email helpdesk@uta.edu, they're super quick and usually really responsive in terms of solving issues. So you'll be on the Fort Worth campus, so you won't necessarily need a student ID card to access buildings, because you don't have to use your card to swipe to get access at that campus. But if you do want to come to the UTA campus, like for example, to use the gym here or the physical library, you will need an ID card. You can come here to the Arlington campus to get that in the University Center if you want to do that this summer. If not, you can wait until August. In August, we'll have another orientation at the Fort Worth Center for our incoming cohort of students that are starting in the fall. And at that time, we will actually have the ability to make student ID cards on site there at the Fort Worth campus. So if you're not super anxious about getting an ID card before August, you can just wait and come to that orientation and get your ID card made if you want to save yourself the hassle of coming over to the Arlington campus. It's totally up to you. Either way is fine. Any questions so far?
No, but I'm about to have to log off. I gotta go to work, but this is recorded, right?
It is recorded, so you can access it later.
All right. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Bye.
Okay. The next thing I will say is just make sure that you're using your UTA email. Your UTA email is the way that we will be communicating with you about your classes and especially about your field placement. So you're automatically added to the MSW listserv. And that's where we'll be communicating with you about things like scholarships, about different opportunities, just things to be aware of. So please make sure you have access to your UTA email and add it to your smartphone so that you can access it, just like your normal email. That way make sure you won't miss anything. The other thing that I'll talk about is our student organizations. We have a number of different student organizations available through the School of Social Work, and each of these has student representatives from the Fort Worth campus as well as from our UT Arlington site, and they're really exciting ways that you can really participate in developing relationships with peers and in networking. So you can see we have a couple that are interest specific. We have the Social Work Health Organization, the Gerontology Organization, and the Students for Global Change. And each of these are really designed for students who have a passion for one of those topic areas. Students for Global Change, just to give you a little more context, students in that organization feel like they either want to work internationally at some point in their social work careers, or they have a passion for refugees and immigrants here domestically. And so much of what they do is human rights related. And Phi Alpha Honor Society is our organization for students. It's a national organization that we have a chapter here, and it's an honor society, so it's based on your GPA, and you are eligible to apply for it. You can actually, if you got your BSW and you were a member of it, you can actually transfer your membership into the Honor Society as a graduate student. And if you're a graduate student, you just need to wait until you post your grades for your first semester, and then you can go ahead and apply for membership. You get to wear special cords for graduation, and there are some other perks related to being able to have that on your resume as well. And the Social Work Council is really our advocacy body. So that's the group at our school that promotes change within the school. They're kind of the voice of our students. And it's made up of all different kinds of students. So BSW students, MSW students, and PhD students. So if you're looking for a way to get involved, we have a number of different opportunities. I do think we're also going to be looking at starting at some additional student organizations in the fall. We're looking at starting an LGBTQ student organization, a Latino student organization, and an African American student organization. So lots of opportunities for growth and involvement. As I mentioned before, we do have a pretty fantastic library here on campus, as well as some writing resources that are available to you as students. The library website is uta.edu/library, and this is really where you'll go to provide support for the papers that you'll write in your classes. There are access to thousands of online journals. There's also information about different kinds of tutorials, like making sure you don't plagiarize. They're pretty simple tutorials that you can go through and learn about plagiarism. There are also tutorials about how to access different sources in the library. Oh, and I see that John Dillard is actually no longer the librarian. We have a new librarian, and her name is Brooke Troutman. So I will send you that information as well. The University Writing Center is available at the UTA campus and the Arlington campus, and it's staffed mostly by English graduate students who can help you with things like grammar, clarity, making sure your writing style is making sense, those kinds of things. But in-house, we have an even better resource, and that is Dr. Chris Kilgore, who is our very own writing resource coordinator. Dr. Kilgore has a really great website. If you look on the School of Social Work website and go to writing resources, you'll see that there are a number of different tutorials specific to the assignments in your classes. And Dr. Kilgore is available to you both on campus here in Arlington, as well as at the Fort Worth Center. He keeps office hours there as well. He also does virtual appointments, so he's a really fantastic resource for you as you begin writing papers in your classes. There are a number of other things that your advisor should touch on as you meet with your advisor, including the NASW Code of Ethics and the Code of Conduct. Because you guys are coming in with advanced standing, you should already be familiar with these. You should also have been familiar with using APA style. That's the style that you'll be required to use for all of your papers that are turned in throughout your program. So if you haven't purchased one already, I would suggest purchasing an APA style manual. We're now in the 6th edition of that. That will be really useful to you as you begin your graduate social work career. I just ask that you use professional communication with your peers in your physical classes as well as in your virtual communication. You'll be joining a cohort, an existing cohort of students at the Fort Worth Center that have been in class together for a year, and you're kind of joining them during their first summer of classes. And so I would ask that you be respectful of them, and that you be respectful of your instructors throughout the program, and that if you have any problems or need assistance, that you would reach out to me as MSW program director so that I can provide assistance to you. Preparing for integrative seminar, I jotted this on this slide because I want you to be aware that it's important that you retain your textbooks and your notes from each of the classes that you take. The final class you'll take in the program is called Integrative Seminar, and it will require you to access the books and the notes that you've used in all of your previous classes to write a formal case study as your final assignment. So please don't sell your textbooks until after your Integrative Seminar class is over. As Fort Worth Cohort students, you will be specializing in direct practice with children and families, and you'll also be receiving a certificate in administration. This is unique because you're the only group of students, our Fort Worth students are the only ones who receive an additional certificate in addition to their specialty. So that's pretty special and something that we're really proud of and excited about. In terms of what to expect, you will be starting classes next Wednesday. So your fall and spring classes are 8 weeks long, but this summer your classes will be 5 weeks long, and you'll take 2 classes this summer, and they'll be consecutive, one at a time. One will be, and you'll go Wednesday and Thursday from 6 to 9:50. So they're a little bit longer in the summertime. So you'll take the first class for 5 weeks on Wednesday and Thursday, and then once that 5 weeks is over, you'll take the second class for the next 5 weeks. And then, like I said, in fall and spring, their classes are a little bit longer. They're 8 weeks long, and again, they're taken one at a time. There are a couple of exceptions where you'll take an online class in addition to your face-to-face classes, and those are actually 16-week long classes. So it will all make sense. I know it's a lot of numbers right now, but it will all make sense as you get started. It will all kind of come together. You will take an intercession class, and that's a real condensed format class. You'll take that in the winter semester, next in between the fall and spring next year, and that will be every day for 2 weeks, kind of over the holiday break. Okay. So I wanted to kind of give you a brief overview of the classes you'll take, and I'm not going to really talk much about these because I'll let you read them for yourselves. These are the course descriptions that I've pulled. The first classes you'll take this summer are 5311, Advanced Micro Practice, and 5362, Direct Practice with Children and Families. And this will really give you a head start into what you're going to be studying for the rest of the time in your graduate program. Most students really enjoy both of these classes because they're very much hands-on, and they feel like, you know, you're really getting into the nitty-gritty of what social work is really all about, especially when we're talking about children and families. In the fall, you'll have 3 different classes that you'll take. This first one, Seminar in Family Therapy, you'll actually take online via Blackboard. That's our online course management system. And it will be across the span of the whole 16 weeks. It'll be Seminar in Family Therapy. You'll also take Stress, Crisis, and Coping, which is an integrated theory and practice class, meaning that you'll learn both about theory and then the practical application of that particular topic. So in this case, it'll be Stress, Crisis, and Coping, with an emphasis on family stress. And then you'll take Research and Evaluation Methods 2, which is an advanced research class that will teach you about how to evaluate your own practice and basic research skills in terms of learning how to evaluate both programs and interventions in social work. As I said, you'll take a winter intersession class. This is the one that goes every day for 2 weeks, and this class will be called Community and Administrative Practice. So this is related to your administrative certificate that you'll be getting in conjunction with your families and children's specialization. In the spring of 2019, you will take social work supervision, social policy and child welfare, and advanced administrative practice. And the supervision class will be the one that will be online that semester. You'll also begin your field internship. So you'll be enrolled in an advanced internship for the first semester, and this will be split between 2 semesters. So you'll start at one agency and you'll continue at that agency in the summer semester. We actually changed this so that you will not actually be taking this spring intersession. If you saw earlier, we've actually moved it into the spring semester. So you won't be taking a spring intersession. Summer 2019 will be your final semester in the program, and that's when you'll take the second half of your internship, your advanced field placement, as well as integrative seminar, the class I was talking about earlier, which is our capstone class, where you'll write a comprehensive case study about a client in your advanced internship. The final thing I want to talk about today is our field program. Because you're advanced standing, you've all completed a field placement at the foundation level. So this should come, as no surprise to you that you'll be doing a field placement and kind of what to expect in a field placement. Your contact in the field office is Amy Lopez. She will be your field advisor. She's the field advisor for all of our advanced standing students, as well as all of our Fort Worth Cohort students. So her contact information is there on the page. You can email her directly, or you can also reach the general field office through their email address as well. Again, to reiterate, you have to use your MAVS email because that's the one that the field office will use to communicate with you about your placement. And so if you miss an email, it could be really important because it might mean that you lose your opportunity to be placed that semester. So please make sure that you're checking it often. In order to enter field, and again, we talked about you will be entering field in the spring of 2019, you have to have a GPA of 3.0 or better. If you don't have a 3.0, which is a B average, you won't be able to start field with your cohort. And so that's just an important thing to keep in mind because you won't be eligible to be matched unless you have a 3.0. Your field placement, most students, the vast majority of students, do a split field placement. So they do 240 hours each semester in the field. And But some students who decide that they want to, take off, they're not going to work, they're not going to have any other responsibilities, they do a block field placement. And a block field placement is where they would take all 480 hours in one semester. This is less common, but if it's something that you're interested in doing, I just encourage you to talk with your academic advisor about what might be involved and what that would look like for you and your schedule. It's important to recognize that field requires a whole lot of you. And so it's important that you start thinking now about how you're going to complete this requirement of the program, given all of the other things that you're doing in your life. I know that many of you are working, many of you are raising families and have other responsibilities, and field takes a lot out of you. So it's really important right now to start thinking about how will you accomplish your goal in terms of completing your field placement successfully in the spring and summer semesters next year, and planning that really far in advance so that when it comes time for spring and it's time for you to be matched with an agency, that you're able to do that with your eyes wide open and have a really good plan for success in place. As you can see, some placements do offer some hours at night and on weekends and in evenings, but almost none of them allow students to work only at those times. So regardless of whether your placement is mostly in the evenings or on weekends, you'll still have to be able to be available during the week at least one day. So please be thinking about that now, and how you will balance that either with vacation time or with however you'll juggle that, whether you'll maybe flex your schedule. So start thinking about that now. It's never too early. When it gets to time to actually apply for field, you'll be applying for field in the fall semester because you'll start your field placement in the spring. And there will be an email that comes out from the field office that tells you that it's time to start applying for field. And there will be a window of time. It's usually about a month that you have to actually do your field application. You'll fill out all the sections of the application and then submit it. And then the field office will review it and let you know if there are any issues with it. You will have to also buy liability insurance. This is a really easy thing to do. It typically costs around $20. And on our field on the field section of a School of Social Work website, you can find information about the different companies and links to them that offer insurance and how to actually go about buying that insurance. Again, you won't need to do that and make it active until the spring. You'll need to buy it and have its active date as being January of 2019. So don't worry about that now, and just kind of giving you a heads up of some of this stuff to start thinking about. Because you're an advanced student, you will get some say in your placement. We have a ton of agencies, well over 400 agencies that have partnered with us to provide excellent field internship opportunities. And so you'll be matched with an agency based on your specialization of children and families. And you'll get to weigh in terms of what kind of agency you're looking for and also the location of that agency. This is just kind of a logic diagram of what happens in terms of the field assignment process. So when you're ready, you'll submit your field application through eIntern and your certificate of liability insurance. And this will be in the fall again. The field office will assign you an agency based on your preferences. And then you'll receive an email from the field office that tells you to contact the agency to set up the interview. So you'll be the one responsible for actually setting up an interview with the agency. Once you have the interview, if you are accepted, then you've got the green light to go ahead. You liked the agency liked you, you're good to go. You then accept the agency and e-intern, and you can proceed with your placement. If you're not accepted, you kind of go back to the drawing board, the agency declines you, and the field office then assigns you a different agency, and the process continues until you find a good match for yourself. You'll be assigned a field liaison. This is the instructor of record, the person who gives you a grade for field. And this person is responsible for communicating with you and with your field instructor and to address any kind of issues that come up. If you have any problems, they're kind of your first point of contact. They also review your midterm evaluation and your final evaluation and assess your progress throughout the semester. They will also review your timesheet. The timesheet is electronic. It's available on the website, and it adds up your hours automatically, so it's super easy to use. And they also will help review your learning contract and approve your final evaluation. And as I said before, they'll assign your final course grade because you do get a grade in field. And so it's a significant amount of hours that you're spending in field. You know, you'll get 8 credit hours for your field placement for one semester and for the next. So if you can make an A in field, that has a huge impact on your GPA. Your responsibilities are to abide by the code of ethics, to be respectful and accept supervision and feedback from both your field instructor as well as the people at your agency where you're assigned. You'll first talk with your field instructor if you have any problems in your field placement. And second, you'll consult with your field liaison, the person of record at UTA, if you still have issues that need to be resolved. You'll complete your timesheets and supervision logs to the field liaison. You'll get a link for your student evaluations. This is the evaluation that your field instructor will fill out about you and your progress that you're making. If you need any information about the dates where you'll be applying for field, when field starts and ends, the field calendar is available on our website. You can access it through the School of Social Work's webpage once again, and it will provide you with start and end dates each semester for when you're allowed to start your placement and when you have to finish your placement by. Dr. Donetta Smith is our Assistant Dean of Field Instruction, and as I said before, Amy Lopez is our Field Advisor. So I have given you a ton of information, and I recognize that I have just zoomed through all of it. My hope is that this gives you kind of a head start in terms of what to expect when you begin your classes on Wednesday. And so I hope that if you do have additional questions for me, that you will reach out to me with those either before Wednesday or, throughout the semester. I am here to be your advocate and also to address any problems or concerns that you have while you're a student in the program. So that's really all I have for today. And I'm going to go ahead and conclude this session. But again, reach out to me. I'm so excited that you are joining us here at UTA in the MSW program. And just look forward to meeting each of you and welcoming you to UTA. So thanks so much.